welcome to Board Games with Niramas. I'm Joseph and I'm here with Draco, of course, as usual. And today we're going to start off the top 50 games of all time. I'm so excited for this. I'm going to give you my top 50. It's going to be based mainly on games that I enjoy, I like to play, I like the look of them, I like the feel when I play them, I like the sort of way it makes my brain works, how it makes me consider my moves, consider what to do, how it maybe interacts or don't interact with the other players depending on the game, and how I feel that fits the game. So and I thought about doing a top 100 at first, but then again I think that's going to be next year. So we're going to start off with top 50. I think that's well enough to do for a small channel. So yeah, let's get going. And well, my number 50 game of all time, according to my judgment, is XCOM the board game. So XCOM the board game, this might surprise a few, because it's kind of a special game in the sense that it has this app that you have to have that drives the game forward. Some people don't like that at all. I can respect that, I can understand that. It's just, I mean, I come from the sort of digital gaming background. For me, it's just cool when they mix together one thing I love, which is board games, and another thing which I used to love, but I still like a lot, which is digital games. So, and I think in that game, in XCOM, the board game, it works really well. Now, I know there's been some people saying, like, I mean, I love the XCOM, the digital game, the on PlayStation or PC, or XCOM, I guess. XCOM, what's it called? What's the other? What's that? You know what I mean. Xbox it's called, the other gaming box. Xbox, that was confusing. Anyway, XCOM the board game is kind of cool. I think it's cool, and I really like the feeling in it. I like the stress that it gives you. The app is sort of, it has music, it drives you on, it has timer, you have to click, you know, I have to do this here and I have to click, love that stuff. So that's why it's my number 50, XCOM the board game. And then we go to number 49, The Pursuit of Happiness. And this is a engine building game, almost, I would say, sort of Euro-ish, but I love the theme. The theme is basically you have a life, a normal, you know, what, Western culture life, where you're going to, you know, you can purchase stuff, so you can get like a board gaming collection even in the game. That's kind of cool. I mean, you can get like a set of golf clubs, and that will make you happy for a while. Maybe not happy for the long term, but maybe it gives you short-term happiness. Then you can perhaps, you can have kids and such, you can get, get a partner, then you will also get a long-term happiness perhaps, but it will also take up a lot of your time, because you have this, it's like a worker placement game where you have these time units that you use, and as you get older, I mean, you start to lose them, and finally you die when you don't have any time left. But if you've been like working out, if you've been doing healthy stuff during your life, then you could hold on to those workers or time units a bit longer to get to do more actions. And in a 4-player game, there might even be like 1 or 2 players that die in the last round or next to the last round, and then the other 2 or 1 gets to play another round for themselves because they've been doing something that brought them more health. And there's just been an expansion release for this as well. I haven't played it yet. I'm so excited for that. So that's my number 49, that is The Pursuit of Happiness. And then number 48, and this is a really new game, really new. Just, I don't even think it's in the stores yet. And it's called After the Virus. This is from Fricks Games, who also did Terraforming Mars, of course. Jacob Frixelius, the designer, just made this. I just love this design, After the Virus. You just have a deck of cards. It's a song against zombies, but it's made in a sort of fun way, a sort of cartoony way. I just love that stuff. And you sort of, I played it yesterday, and I mean, I was sitting there, we were playing like 3 players. You all play in some way solitaire, but you can still help each other out, and you only win if everybody wins, sort of. So, really cool cooperative game, After the Virus. And you can check out my my live play from Friday for that as well, because I'm recording this, what is it, today? I think it's November 6th, I think it's. And also, that's also something I should mention, games that I played after November 6th, which is going to be all of November, because this is going to be aired late in November, they are not going to be here, of course. So I had to take, I mean, at some point I had to say, okay, now let's do the list and don't wait anymore, because I'm going to play a lot of new games after this. So anyway, that was my number 48 after the virus. Now let's go to number 47. This is a game that came out last year in 2016. And I know Draco likes it, but he's afraid of the elk in the game. That's the first play marker, and the game is called A Feast for Odin. This is Uwe Rosenberg, of course, his big hit from last year, and it's the worker placement game where you have, I think, 60 or over 60 spots you can put your workers in, which sounds just absurd, but it actually works out. Really cool game. It's Vikings, it's you know, a feast for Odin. You have to feed your people with some food and so on. You're building these Viking longboats, the ships. You can go out exploring. You can whale hunt. You can do a lot of stuff in the game, and it's really a lot of different ways that you can win, that you can get points. So really cool worker placement game, and it's quite it's a bit fiddly because there's a lot of pieces in it. But then again, the design of the insert is really good, where you can just remove it from the box and you have all the pieces set up already. So great game after, no, not A Feast for Odin, my number 47. My number 46 is a game that I played a few times and I got really impressed by it. I don't want to play it every day because it's sort of, my brain works in sort of that way when I play it, that I feel content after I played it, but then after like a week or two I feel like, oh, I want to play that game again. And the game is Orleans. Orleans is a really fun game. It's a bag building game, so you get these workers sort of that you put in your bag, and then you will draw from the bag, and depending on who comes up, because the workers are different. That's the thing I really like about this game. So you might get some of these workers that, like a fisherman, he can only do certain actions, and then you have to combine them, so they have to work together in order to do stuff, recruit new workers, move around on the board, build these what's it called, I think like settlements in the different towns in France that you visit, and on the way you will pick up goods, like luxury goods like wine and so on. That is worth points at the end of the game. Really fun game, and I know that there's a co-op expansion of this that I haven't tried. That's one of the things I have on my sort of mental list of games or expansions that I must try, you know. But just a base game, Orleans, that is my number 46. Then we go to number 45. This is another Euro game. There's a bunch of Euro games on this list, obviously. This one is from Stefan Feld, and it's called the Oracle of Delphi. The Oracle of Delphi is a quite unusual Stefan Feld design, though, because it's a race game. There's no points, you just have to get there first, and it's in the Greek mythology setting. You have the different gods that you're trying to please, you have your ship that's moving around the Greek islands, and Zeus have given you a sort of 12 deeds that you have to perform to be the greatest Greek hero of all time. You need to do that before everyone else does it, because you're doing the same thing. So there's a race, not just a race to the end, but a race to sort of doing these goals. So like I might have a quest to get a green offering, basically a green cube, get it to the green temple. Then there's just, I mean, if we're 3 players, there's going to be 3 of those green cubes. So everyone can do it, but I mean, maybe one of those cubes are closer to where we start than the other. I need to race there, but if I do that, then the monster that I need to fight that's over here, maybe someone else can grab that. So I just love how this game makes you try to plan ahead really far, like, and also it has the rondelle system where you roll dice, you put them in the rondelle, and then they can do different actions depending on which color they are and symbol. And that's a system that I really enjoy with that rondelle system. So that's the Oracle of Delphi, my number 45. And so number 44 is a game that it's not that new, but I played it recently a bunch of times, and it's called The Deception Murder in Hong Kong. This is a social deduction game. It's sort of like find the murderer. If you're a bunch of people, you can play it with a lot of people. One of you is going to be the murderer. There's been a murder happened, and you're going to figure out what key evidence was found at the murder scene, and you're also going to need to figure out what the murder weapon was. So the murderer is going to choose from a certain amount of cards which of these two they are, and then everybody has to figure it out. It's also can be a witness that the witness sort of, because you have the night face where you close your eyes and everything, the witness will know who the murderer and the accomplice is, but he doesn't know who of them is the murderer. And the accomplice will know who is the murderer, and he will sort of try to take the blame on himself, because that's the only way that the good guys, the investigators, can win, is to find the murderer. Really cool game. I like these type of games. I like, you know, Secret Hitlers, the Resistance Avalon. What more is there? Oh, this also reminds me a little bit of Mysterium, which did not make the list, but it's in my top 100. I like that game. So Mysterium, yeah, sort of where you have to figure out, because there's cards with pictures on them you need to figure out, but in this one it's a lot more interactive. You're talking to each other and all that. I mean, the ghost has to be silent in Mysterium, so yeah, and of course you have one guy who is sort of the forensic evidence guy as well. He's sort of the game leader, because you need that in that type of games most of the time. So that's my number 44, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. 43, we go back to the Euro scene and Stefan Feld, and it's Your Week that came out last year, and it was the first game on the channel that I did a run through for actually myself, so it has a special place in my heart, of course. And not just for that, it's a fun game. It's very simple in terms of it has very few components. It's simple in terms of mechanics, but it has this beautiful auction mechanic. I just love it, where we all want something, a card that comes into the harbor, different goods and so on. If I go and I tell everybody that I want it by putting my little Viking in line for it, then at that point it will cost me 1 coin to get that item or that card. But then Draco might see that and he also wants it, or perhaps he doesn't want it, he just wants to make sure that I can't get it. It's kind of mean game. I don't usually like mean games and like, you know, take that games, but this one I do like. And then Draco can put his Viking behind me. All of a sudden, for me, it costs 2 coins to buy that card now, and perhaps I can't afford it because this game is so tight in coins. You have, oh, it's so hard. I mean, in goods and everything, and I like it in that game. So much fun with that one. You can play it on 5 players, which is the best way to play it. And also, it's sort of a, I mean, in comparison to some other failed games where you have like a point salad where you get points from everywhere, in this one it's kind of funny actually, because the point track on the outside of the board goes, I think, up to 50, but I played a bunch of times. I've never seen anyone get more than like 20, so it's just for looks, I think, that it's up to 50, or maybe we're just playing bad, but it's a really cool game. So that's my number 43, that's Your Week. And then number 42, it's well, it's Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter is basically it's a cooperative zombie game, or fighting against the zombies. You have a colony, you're trying to survive, you're trying to meet a mission objective that you have. There's a bunch of different. But the twist is that everyone has their own objective besides the main one. So and also there might be a traitor. It's not certain that there's a traitor, which makes the game so much fun. I think just that element of it might be a traitor in there. So, and the way that everybody has their own mission, it sort of makes people look like the traitor, because they're trying to complete their own mission at the same time as they're trying to help the group and complete the main mission. But that makes it suspicious sometimes. Why didn't they do this? Because that would have helped the group. Oh, maybe he's the traitor, and you start voting, because you can vote each other out. But if you don't vote the traitor out, you vote someone else out, well, he's out. But we can still keep playing, and if you vote 2 people out that are not the traitor, then you lose. And I had so much fun with that game. It's been a while since I played it, but it's really back of my mind. I really want to play that soon again, and I really enjoyed it. So that's why it's my number 42, Dead of Winter. And so the last game on this list, my 41, is a game that I haven't played that much, but that it's a game that really made an impression on me, and that's Automania. Automania is a game where you build cars. You have a sort of factory, you're going to build cars. And the mechanics is really fun, because you have like, oh, I'm going to build this type of car, and I'm going to do it on this line, and then the line can be designed different ways. So yeah, I want extra speed on this one, or I want extra steering. And then you're going to get a good car coming out there, And then you sort of have to mix and match that together, because I think you do 3 different types. And you also, on the actual board, you have a system which is kind of cool, where there's like a grid. So if you want to go over here, then you're going to get sort of this and this. But if you go over there, you get this and so on. So you have this action selection, and also you put out your workers. And I really like that feeling in that game. Really fun, because you're just getting the cars out right away. It's like, it's Euro style game. It's not that light. I mean, it's not heavy, but still you get that feeling of just quick progression in the game. And it's so much fun in the game. So that's why it's Mania is my number 41. And that was it for my first top, my 50 to 41. And now in a week from now, you're going to be able to see my, 40 to 31, which is the next 10 there. That will just keep going until we get to the last 10, and those I will do together with some friends as well. So we will have the classical setup with 3 guys on a row. That's going to be really fun, and that's going to come out closer to Christmas. So yeah, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope Draco enjoyed it. I think he doesn't agree with me. He likes games named after himself, I think, like the Draco game. It's only one though, so yeah. But thank you so much for watching this top 50 games of all time, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, have a great evening or morning, or whenever you're watching this. Bye bye.
Breathe in. Look into these eyes. Subscribe to the channel. Now, exhale. Board Games with Niramas is sponsored by Alara Games in Sweden.